Hello friends, this is the School of Creativity, and I, Vitaly Tkachenko. Well, we continue to explore the theme of the East together. Just make a sketch, like a light outline. Start with the entrance part, the upper part. Everything should be parallel to the edges of your canvas. On the left and right at the same level, yes, we have this part with the small stones, yes, we have them arranged like this. Without drawing and detailing each one, you can conditionally outline them, and then you can go back and draw them in more detail. Next, the background recedes a little into perspective, going slightly diagonally over there. So this is the most basic composition. This is the frame through which we look into the distance, and the most important thing is just to outline it. Then you start working on the stones, the background, and the gazebo, which is quite a conditional element that can be applied over the paint later, whether you are using acrylics or even oils. We will start by finding this kind of paint. It will be a gray color, which is quite easy to mix. I will take some white and just a little bit of black. So I take it and start applying it to the mountains. For now, I'm not thinking about the sky. For now, I'm just going as thin as possible and trying to leave fewer brush strokes. Right away, we can switch to the background part and the side parts. And this color is the same as the one used before. We can darken it a little bit, add a bit more black. Let's add a little bit of blue as well. I will paint over these columns, and I will probably even paint them completely like this, along with the grid. Next, we will have a different shade. Here we have white, green, and a little bit of blue. This is how I do it. Well, where we will have such dark black shadows, it is actually not necessary to paint them completely. And by the way, you probably noticed the movement that I'm doing vertically, right? Like this, back and forth. At this stage, during the underpainting phase, which is what this is, try to leave minimal traces. Blend more and use thinner paint. The color we have on the edges in the shadows is essentially black paint. So here you can just use black. It can be a bit watery, and you can even add a little blue to the black paint to make it less dull when you approach areas like these edges. You can use a slightly smaller brush, being a bit more careful. And here I also take black paint, add a little blue, and create a very dark depth. I will fill in the stones. I will take white, add a drop of yellow paint, and a little bit of brown to create a light sandy color, and with a small brush I will fill it in like this sandy color. Now I will mix a bluish color, taking white with blue, and I will add just a little bit of red. What I will do now is take this and slightly tint it with a thin layer, literally watery, like this. Try to trim these edges away so you won't have to come back to them later to level and adjust them. And now we can try to take the black color. Let's go ahead and try black. I'll mix it a little with brown. And let's make something more specific. Well, let's say we have two supports, two logs. I'm sketching out a little log here. I will make this area a bit darker now, but with some kind of brown tone. And look, I take a thick white color, and here on the edge a bit of thick paint, and I spread it out to create light. I take pure black and darken this area just a bit, a little bit. Moreover, we see some elements of architecture there, like wooden supports. Yes, little beams like that. You can leave them in a bluish color, or later add a bit of blue to them separately. How are stones made? I take brown and a little black and start to separate them from each other like this. And I slightly blur the boundary of the shadow with water until it dries a bit, the next stone. I outline and dissolve it a bit with water right away, as I immediately want to create a shadow under them, of course. I also want to reflect them in the water, so I can use a bit of black and some blue. I take that and reflect them there. The tree is also reflected a bit. By the way, we can immediately create the reflection of the tree, meaning we adjust the tone of the paint through its fluidity and transparency. Here we have people, and suddenly there's the tree. Look at the mirror-like reflection we can achieve. In just 2 minutes, by applying 2 or 3 layers of paint, this is how beautifully the stones turn out. And now for the grass. The grass will be green. We will definitely add a little brown and a little yellow to the grass. We take and make this grass not a bright green. I want to point out that it is not a harsh green color, but rather calm. Also, of course, we need to work a little with water. Look, I take some blue mixed with green and add more and more water, just like in the old advertisement. Yes, just add water. And I want to add a bit of purple, even a little pink. We can try taking a bit of black and more brown with plenty of water and not too much fluidity. The task is to make the background airy. There is no task to make it too expressive, so more water is needed. We need to keep up so that the paint doesn't dry too quickly. As long as it hasn't dried, I try to smear and blur it a bit. Look, everything is flowing calmly. There are no obvious black shadows. The foreground is quite dark, while the background is calm. Yes, the shore is darker, but it is not as black as it might seem. I hope you found this masterclass helpful. We will definitely see each other again. This was Vitaly Pikachenko and the School of Creativity, wishing everyone creative success. Bye-bye.